Today, I'll be speaking about my empire, the LAME Empire. The acronym stands for Luke Abel's Middle Eastern Empire. The text at the bottom of the slide reads, "Long live LAME" in Arabic. The empire is located in the Middle East and encompasses present-day countries Egypt, Palestine, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Cyprus, Turkey, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Oman, and Yemen, and the capital of the empire will be located in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. There's an abundance of oil in this region, and the extraction of this oil will be the chief economic activity of this empire. The empire was established when a military regime consisting of highly trained Middle Eastern soldiers emerged in Jubail, Saudi Arabia, and conquered surrounding countries, gaining militants along the way. The goal of the regime was to create an autonomous empire that would one day rule the world. Political and religious strife within the region presented the LAM regime the opportunity to intervene in such countries with a strong military presence and to provide said states with bureaucratic structure. Governmental system. The empire practices an authoritarian form of government. This means that no free elections will be held for the citizens, meaning the current dictator will rule until death or until the collapse of the empire. The eldest son or daughter of the dictator will assume the position of dictator after the death of their parent. Transportation in and out of the country, with the exception of trade, is scarcely permitted. In addition, citizens lack any substantial political power and are expected to comply with government policies. The government will direct large amounts of money towards the expansion of the military, along with a secret police system that will prevent uprisings within the empire. In addition, the government will establish a large nuclear arsenal through the efforts of thousands of scientists and engineers. The official currency for the empire will be the lame dollar, which will have the printed face of the current dictator on the bill. Public education will be provided for all children despite gender or social status and will be run by the state. Universal health care will also be provided to all citizens. The official language of the empire will be Arabic, and the official religion of the empire will be Islam, specifically Sunni. Although the empire will not rule based on the Sharia law, but rather by the policies and laws that are conceived from the dictator him or herself. Economy. The LAME Empire practices communism, meaning that all businesses, such as oil corporations, are owned by the state, and there is no private sector. Around 49% of all oil reserves in the world are located in the Middle East. This is a huge economic advent to the empire that is heavily exploited. The majority of the revenue that comes into the state is derived from the trade of oil. To maximize efficiency when extracting oil, high-quality rigs, highways, dockyards, and airports will be constructed to facilitate this process along with trade. As demonstrated in modern society, oil is imperative for the contemporary world to function. Therefore, with control over a large portion of the world's oil reserves, the empire could attain significant political power around the world and even become an economic superpower. Social structure. Although in ideology the LAME Empire recognizes communism as their economic system, social stratification is inevitable in every civilization, and an unequal distribution of wealth exists within its borders. Government officials reside at the top of the hierarchy, for they possess most political power and make decisions pertaining to trade. The upper middle class consists of the highly educated individuals like the engineers and the scientists that construct and maintain oil rigs. Although they are paid the same as other citizens, they receive privileges such as better health care and housing. The middle class is made up of those who work in the service industry, such as waiters, taxi drivers, and chefs. The lower class consists of those who perform blue-collar jobs, such as construction, and those who work on the oil rigs. Culture. Authoritarian governments often strive to control all aspects of their citizens' lives, and although culture is perceived as an aspect of society that cannot be dictated due to its depth and variability, the LAME Empire will attempt to produce a uniform culture by controlling all aspects of media and forms of artistic expression, such as music and art. The LAME Empire assumes the boundaries of many separate countries that all have distinct cultures, so a uniform culture could act as a unifying force between these exotic peoples. The empire would be significant patrons of the arts as well as other cultural aspects. To sustain the culture of the LAME Empire, certain children will be chosen to specialize in a specific sphere of culture, whether it be music, art, or dancing. They will then train throughout their whole entire lives and perfect their practices. In this way, the government is consistently cultivating generations of artists that will contribute to the uniform culture of the nation. Dubai demonstrates the product of technological advancement in the 21st century, specifically in the Middle East, and will be the official cultural capital of the LAME Empire. All of the greatest works of art, pieces of music, and architectural achievements in the empire will be diffused from the city and will serve as a display of luxury and power to other countries. Legacies. Throughout history, a multitude of empires have existed all across the world, and collapse is almost inevitable, but certain achievements and legacies remain eternal and are spoken of in later generations. In the LAMEE Empire, the greatest architectural achievement will be that of the Burj Khalifa 2.0. The structure will be located in previously mentioned Dubai and will stand right next to the current Burj Khalifa, yet it will tower 500 feet taller. The construction will be fully subsidized and overseen by the government. Such an architectural feat will be remembered as one of the great achievements of the LAMEE Empire. Wall surrounding empire. Within 10 years of the creation of the empire, a 20-foot tall wall will be constructed around the entirety of the empire. This wall will protect the empire from invaders, prevent immigration, and will serve as a symbol of dominance to other nations. Iconic map. This iconic map was designed by one of the many successful artists that were a product of the empire and is universally recognizable as a symbol of the LAMEE Empire. Global issues. ISIS. The presence of ISIS and other Islamic extremist groups is permeating throughout the contemporary Middle East and could be problematic to the LAMEE Empire. The extensive secret police system of the empire will prevent any of these groups from attempting attacks by recording any suspicions to the government, who will then handle the situation. Any citizens that are thought to be associated with such extremist groups, in addition to any citizens that are caught conspiring to revolt against the government, will be killed. If any insurrection were to occur, then the strong military would be able to easily suppress the situation. Food. Little to no farming occurs in the Middle East, and the region is practically void of any commercial farming due to the arid climate in the region. This means that there will be very little domestic food produced to feed a very large population. Therefore, the empire must rely on trade to receive food from other countries. This could prove to be an ineffective solution because due to the authoritarian nature of the government, economic sanctions could be placed on the empire by the world's economic superpowers such as the US. This conflict is demonstrated in North Korea, a country ruled by a dictator that has insufficient amount of food to feed the people due to economic sanctions and an authoritarian government that does not provide for its citizens. In conclusion, the authoritarian government and the communist economic system fueled by the extraction of oil, yields an efficient empire whose endeavor for political and economic power sometimes comes at the cost of the rights of the citizens living within its own borders. This lack of political power is compensated by the universal health care and public education that is provided to all citizens within the empire.